Hi, this is a video about technical implementation of peoplevocabularies.com. If you haven't watched the previous video for users, so I think you should watch it before you continue this video. And I will not tell you everything in detail, so if you don't understand something or have some questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll definitely answer and may do another video to highlight some topics. And before we start, I want to mention that I have started from this video. This is a quick introduction to AWS services. If you want to get it quickly, I think you should watch this too. But for this video, you can just continue to watch. And so let's jump on the project. And here, this is as you can see, the project has been written on React.js, and I created the project from the famous create React app template. So also I'm using Bootstrap to make site looking good, and also I'm using AWS Amplify to communicate to AWS services. I think you can see in the file structure that you can see this landing, trainer, uploader, translator parts, components that correspond to the site sections, and also I have some general template here. This contains all general parts from all sections, and I'm using reach router to communicate between parts, to navigate between them. But of course, you can go on GitHub and look closely on everything what you want, and explore the project, and of course ask me in the comments and I will explain you everything if you want. But now let's go on the service part on AWS services, and you can see I'm using many of them, like AWS App Sync, DynamoDB, Row 53, and so on. And let's start from the most important one. It's AWS App Sync service. And here you can see the scheme. This is a GraphQL scheme. This is a contract between client and servers part. In this scheme, you can see again mutations and queries that correspond to the site sections mostly, and on the right side of the page you can see that every mutation and every query has its own resolver, and mostly these are Lambda functions. Let's look at this, the most important functionality, get unknown words by text resolver here. And this is a resolver. It doesn't almost nothing but call Lambda function with the same name. And let's go on this Lambda function. This is all Lambda functions, and this is specific, this get unknown words by text Lambda function. Let's go through the source code of this function. In the source code you can see function gets text on the input. Then I call another Lambda function to split this text by words. Then I sort these words to place the most often encountered words in the beginning of the list. The next step will be an important step to compare these words against the user vocabulary. So to find out unknown words for user, and for each of these words uh, we call another Lambda function to find out all translations, multiple translations for every word. Next step, to find exclusions for every word. That means mostly irregular verbs or some other exclusions. And at the end, we join all results together and return the list of unknown words with exclusions and translations. And this list you can see on the trainer page. For example, the word arise, you can see exclusion forms and multiple translations here. Okay, let's jump on the data structure of this project. And for data structure, I'm using DynamoDB service, and here you can see two tables. The most important one is Vocabularies Table. That vocabulary table contains all users' vocabulary, user and his vocabulary per row. You can see in this item, this is a user's vocabulary words, and we keep only lemma, or let's say canonical form of every word. Only this. For example, for have, we keep only have, but not has, not had, and this is important. Also, in our table, exclusion words that mostly contains again regular verb, but not only. And for this verb, you can see lemma form again and exclusions. So let's go back on the Lambda function. And I want to highlight two important parts. Here, when we call another Lambda function to split text, and we need to find all words presented in this text, but we need really lemmas of these words, canonical forms, and in our part is multi-translator to find translations for every word. Unfortunately, Amazon doesn't have these functionalities, and you can see here for this text the result has located verb, but not locate as I wanted to get, and so it's not lemma form. And also Amazon doesn't have multi-translation, so I had to use Google Cloud and Microsoft Azure services to find out the solutions. And Google has Cloud Natural Language Service that has analyzed syntax method, and this method takes text in the input and returns tokens, and every token, this is a word, and I can see part of speech, which is really important because I want to filter out all proper nouns, all digit names. I don't want to keep names in my vocabulary, and of course lemma form, really important as I said. And Azure from Amazon has the cognitive services and specifically dictionary lookup, which is multi-translation. And you can see in this example, one word fly has multiple translations here. So these services can do all job for you very well. Okay, let's talk about authentication and registration things. And on Amazon, I'm using Cognito service. Mostly Cognito does all job for you, but you can do more with triggers. Here on this page, you can go and create your and hook some triggers. For example, I'm using post confirmation trigger to create some basic data structure for new users after registration, and I'm using define, create and verify authentication triggers to embed Google reCAPTCHA to my authentication process. From the client part, I'm using this AWS amplifier to communicate to Cognito, and also I want to mention this Hawk with Authenticator, very important, very useful thing. You can wrap up any component, and here wrap up this Hawk, different Hawk, but um, now you can use it, for example, in trainer. You can protect trainer, so you can protect any component from unauthenticated access if you want. So easy as it. And now let's go on how users can get access to your service. And this is row 53 DNS service that takes your address and points on another CloudFront distributions service, which is CDN, that serves site to a user. And this CloudFront takes files from AWS Amazon S3 service, which is file storage. And to put files on this storage, I'm using this command with AWS CLI. I take all files from build folder and place them on vocabularies bucket. And to create files in build folder, of course, I'm using npm run build command to build them up. Okay, that's how it works, and I have more plans. To use styled components or use some UI framework to add version control for Lambda functions, because now I control the 2 functions, but there are more functions. Improve CI/CD and have deploy versions of the project. Enhance development experience in the Visual Studio Code. And we had some problems with Lambda timeout limitations if you want to analyze a really big text. So, of course, and much more you can see in the issues sections here on GitHub. So if you have any other ideas or questions, ask me in the comments or place issue on GitHub, and I will come back shortly and answer the explanation, or may do another video to highlight some specific topic if you want. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Take care. See you next time. Bye.